The Clash of Titans, Conor McGregor vs. Chad Mendes. Ladies and gentlemen, gather around, for I'm about to take you on a wild ride into one of the most iconic battles in UFC history. It was a summer night in Las Vegas, July 11, 2015, and the stage was set for UFC 189. The crowd was electric, the anticipation was palpable, and at the heart of it all were two warriors destined to clash, Conor McGregor and Chad Mendes. This wasn't just a fight, it was a saga filled with drama, grit, and a dash of chaos that kept fans on the edge of their seats before, during, and after the event. Let's dive into the backgrounds of these two fighters and relive the night that crowned McGregor as the interim UFC featherweight champion. Conor McGregor, the notorious, rises. Conor McGregor, the name alone stirs excitement. Hailing from Dublin, Ireland, McGregor wasn't just another fighter. He was a showman, a poet with fists, and a self-proclaimed king destined to rule the world of mixed martial arts. Known for his flamboyant personality, razor-sharp wit, and precision striking, McGregor didn't just fight, he orchestrated spectacles. He entered the UFC in 2013, and it didn't take long for him to capture the imagination of fans worldwide. By the time UFC 189 rolled around, McGregor had already earned a reputation for his trash talk as much as for his fighting skills. He was charismatic, confident, and fearless, the embodiment of a modern gladiator. With a string of knockout victories, he had bulldozed through opponents like Marcus Bramage, Dustin Poirier, and Dennis Siver. His punches were precise, his kicks lethal, and his mental warfare unmatched. But McGregor wasn't just fighting for victory, he was fighting to cement his legacy. Originally, McGregor was supposed to face the reigning champion, Jose Aldo. It was a fight hyped beyond belief. However, fate had other plans. Just 2 weeks before the event, Aldo pulled out due to a rib injury, leaving the UFC scrambling for a replacement. Enter Chad Mendes. Chad Mendes, the California powerhouse. On the other side of the octagon stood Chad Mendes, a fighter cut from a different cloth. Born and raised in Hanford, California, Mendes was a decorated wrestler with a relentless fighting style. A product of Team Alpha Male, he had earned his stripes through grueling battles against some of the best in the division. Unlike McGregor, who relied on striking and movement, Mendes was a powerhouse who could dictate the pace with his grappling. Mendes had already fought Jose Aldo twice for the featherweight title, coming up short both times, but earning respect for his toughness and tenacity. His wrestling credentials were second to none, and he had knockout power to boot. Despite stepping in on short notice, Mendes was confident. He believed that his wrestling could nullify McGregor's striking and that he could grind out a victory. When Mendes agreed to take the fight, fans were divided. Could Mendes, with only 2 weeks to prepare, topple the rising star? Could McGregor handle a high-level wrestler, something he hadn't yet faced in his UFC career? The questions swirled, and the tension mounted. The build-up, trash talk, mind games, and drama. If there's one thing Conor McGregor excels at besides fighting, it's psychological warfare. Despite the short notice, he wasted no time launching a verbal assault on Mendes. In press conferences and interviews, McGregor belittled Mendes, calling him a short little wrestler who would crumble under pressure. He mocked Mendes' height, his style, and even questioned his heart. "He's a little short guy, a little stocky wrestler with an overhand right," McGregor sneered during one of the press events. "I'm going to butcher him." But Mendes wasn't one to back down. Calm and composed, he responded, by highlighting McGregor's lack of experience against elite wrestlers. "He hasn't faced anyone like me," Mendes said. "I'm going to take him down, grind him out, and finish him." The tension reached a boiling point during the weigh-ins. The two fighters squared off, eyes locked in an intense stare-down. McGregor, as always, was brimming with confidence, while Mendes exuded quiet determination. The crowd roared, and the stage was set. The fight, power V's, precision. As the fight began, it was clear that Mendes had come to win. He immediately looked for takedowns, and within moments, he had McGregor on the mat. This was unfamiliar territory for the Irishman, who had rarely faced such high-level grapplers. Mendes controlled the first round, landing heavy ground and pound and frustrating McGregor with his wrestling. But McGregor wasn't fazed. Even from his back, he taunted Mendes, smiling and talking trash. He absorbed the punishment and bided his time, waiting for an opening. In the second round, Mendes continued to dominate early with his wrestling. However, fatigue began to set in. Taking a fight on 2 weeks' notice had its price, and Mendes' pace began to slow. Sensing his opponent's wariness, McGregor pounced. With just under a minute left in the second round, McGregor unleashed a flurry of strikes. A straight left hand landed flush, and Mendes staggered. Smelling blood, McGregor pressed forward, landing punch after punch until the referee stepped in to stop the fight. Crowd erupted as McGregor raised his arms in victory, claiming the interim UFC featherweight championship. The aftermath, triumph, respect, and controversy. In the immediate aftermath, emotions ran high. McGregor, always theatrical, celebrated in style, draping himself in the Irish flag and basking in the adoration of the crowd. But amidst the triumph, he took a moment to acknowledge Mendes' toughness. "Fair play to Chad," McGregor said in the post-fight interview. "He took the fight on short notice. He's a tough guy, but I was prepared. I stayed calm under pressure, and I took him out." Mendes, for his part, was gracious in defeat. He admitted that fatigue had played a role, but refused to make excuses. "I felt great in the first round," Mendes said. "But in the second, I started to gas out." Conor capitalized, and he got the win. No excuses. Despite the mutual respect shown after the fight, controversy lingered. Critics argued that McGregor had only won because Mendes had taken the fight on short notice. They claimed that a fully prepared Mendes would have dominated the Irishman. McGregor's detractors also pointed out that he had been exposed on the ground, raising questions about his ability to handle elite grapplers. McGregor, however, dismissed the criticism. "I took out a 2-time title challenger in 2 rounds, he said. "It doesn't matter if it was 2 weeks or 2 months. The result would have been the same." Legacy of UFC 189. UFC 189 wasn't just a fight. It was a spectacle that solidified McGregor's status as a superstar. It showcased his resilience, his striking prowess, and his ability to rise to the occasion. For Mendes, it was a reminder of his grit and warrior spirit. Despite the loss, he earned the respect of fans for stepping up on short notice and giving McGregor a tough fight. In the years that followed, McGregor went on to achieve even greater heights, becoming the first fighter in UFC history to hold titles in 2 weight classes simultaneously. Mendes continued to be a top contender in the featherweight division, eventually retiring in 2018 after a storied career. But for those who witnessed it, the battle between Conor McGregor and Chad Mendes at UFC 189 remains one of the most memorable nights in MMA history, A night when two warriors, despite the odds and the circumstances, gave everything they had in the pursuit of glory. So, my friends, next time you hear the name Conor McGregor or Chad Mendes, remember this story. Remember the drama, the tension, the fight, and the respect. And remember that in the world of combat sports, it's not just about victory or defeat. It's about the heart, the courage, and the spirit of those who step into the arena.